50,000 years ago, in ancient Egypt, there was a prophet who prophesied that in the near future, a young man would become the greatest critic among all others. He doesn't know where he comes from or who he really is, but what he does know is his name, and that man's name is Dr. Phil.
Hey guys, my name is Dr. Phil, and welcome to my channel, and no, I'm not qualified to be a doctor. As you may or may not know, I did a classic movie review of The Mummy, and since then it has reached 10,000 views and is still rising. My reaction was pretty much like this. So I thought for today's video, we take a look at The Mummy's big follow-up sequel, The Mummy Returns. Written and directed by Stephen Sommers, it is an action-adventure film. In this story, we follow Rick O'Connell and his wife Evelyn as they venture off to stop the returned Imhotep from gaining the power and the army of the Scorpion King. And so without further delay, let us begin our epic quest. Let's start this review with our main characters. They were just as good as they were in the first film. They were charming, memorable, and every time you see them on screen, you get this sense of joy and excitement as you're waiting for them to go on their next adventure. And the actors did well, showcasing some semblance of growth and development from the first film. For instance, you have Rick O'Connell, a hardened man who grew to become a loving and caring father. You have Evelyn, a woman who grew from being a shy librarian to a fearless and confident Egyptologist. And you have Jonathan, who grew from funny to hilarious. We also have a new character in the family, Alex O'Connell, played by Freddie Both. He was funny, witty, and that's pretty much what I can say about him, because when you look in depth, his only purpose in the film is to serve as a plot device when he puts on the bracelet of the Scorpion King. And he's been nothing but a kid who gives directions to the villains and our heroes of the Scorpion King's tomb. Nothing much to say except he was okay. Sorry kid, no hard feelings.
My dad is going to kick your ass.
And now for our favorite mummy returning to the screen, Imhotep, played by Arnold Vosloo. Once again, Arnold Vosloo did a great job portraying a foul monster with a new goal that might result at the end of the world. But Imhotep won't be alone in his mission for dominance, for he has a cult that resurrected Imhotep so he can kill the Scorpion King and gain a massive army. Now, I like how the film explains how Imhotep has returned. However, I do have one question though. Who and why do these people worship Imhotep? Who are these people? I mean, I know that they're a cult, but why? And who is this woman? Is she really the reincarnation of Imhotep's lover? Did she have a life before she joined the cult? Was she born in the cult, or what? Yeah, these characters are only there to either serve or die for Imhotep, because they got nothing else better to do. Oh, and there was this hype around the Scorpion King, played by Dwayne Johnson, and honestly, there isn't much to talk about him, because you would only see him at the beginning of the film, and he didn't leave quite an impression. He did supposedly return at the end of the film, but we're going to discuss that later. Now, the action was fast-paced, exhilarating, and massive. And what makes the action distinct from the first film is that you're rooting our heroes as they confront new challenges as they travel to stop Imhotep once again. And it's cool to see Evelyn and Rick O'Connell working together as the dynamic duo. Although there were some action scenes that didn't quite hold up well, especially with CGI effects. For instance, when Imhotep and the cult reach Sher, they get ambushed not only by Rick and Ardith, but by pygmy mummies. You heard me right, pygmy mummies. Am I really supposed to believe that these little guys here pose a threat to our villains and our heroes? Really? They don't even look that convincing or scary looking, except they're silly looking. Although I do find this particular scene funny.
Sorry, my mistake!
And speaking of CGI effects, the effects were outdated and awful, as you would expect. The effects were so awful that it makes the first film's special effects look fantastic. And do you remember when I said that The Rock appeared at the finale of this film? Well, he wasn't exactly there, so to speak. He was replaced by this thing.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it.
Don't ever do that again.
Now I know what you're thinking. What the heck am I looking at here? I have no idea what they were thinking, adding this to the finale of this movie. Why couldn't they have The Rock again playing as a Scorpion King? Instead of being a giant scorpion, he would be himself, but as an immortal warrior or something. It would have been a really cool three-way fight scene between Imhotep, Rick O'Connell, and the Scorpion King. But instead, we're stuck with this. Now the story. The story was surprisingly confusing and very disorganized. Let me explain. You see, when you go into this film, you would notice that the story is practically being told through countless expositions. And more expositions. My God, how many are there?
14,605,000.
What? No!
And not only that, you would also have some questions in mind due to the story's inconsistencies. For instance, if Evelyn is a reincarnation of the Pharaoh's daughter, then how come Imhotep didn't recognize her as the daughter of the Pharaoh? In The Mummy, he only recognized her as Anck-su-namun, and he was pretty determined to sacrifice her for his girlfriend. It's pretty weird to imagine what he was thinking at the time. Or how about this instance? How come Ardith Bey and the other Magi's didn't stop the cult from digging up Imhotep? Heck, even Jonathan pointed that out.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
The point that I'm trying to make here is that it's obvious that the writer of the story was just making up things as he was writing along. As a result, the details and the structure of the story make no sense. Overall, my friends, The Mummy Returns is an average movie filled with outdated CGI effects and an incoherent story. But on the plus side, it has lovable characters and a fun-filled adventure. So we're looking at a 50-50 situation here. Regardless of the film's mistakes, I still think the film was fun to watch. And keep in mind that the filmmakers were trying to make the best mummy movie they could make, and they took a lot of risks, which I admired. So I recommend checking it out, and see what you think. The Mummy Returns scores a 7 out of 10. Well, that's the end of this review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more of my content. And you can leave your thoughts down below. For those who have seen The Mummy Returns, what did you think about the film? And what did you think of CGI Dwayne Johnson Scorpion? Thank you all so much for watching this video. It really means a lot. And as always, I will see you guys in our next appointment. Gotta go.